But looking at these scenes, it evokes a terrible familiarity for my next guest, someone you met years ago under similarly horrific circumstances. His daughter, Anna Marquez Greene, was among those 20 children killed, at Sandy Hook back in 2012. There was a connection for us at the time because they lived in Winnipeg for 3 years before they moved to Newtown, and his daughter was killed. And we met Jimmy Greene at that time. He's graciously agreed to come back and speak to me this morning. Jimmy, good to have you under the most horrific of circumstances, but I'm happy to have you with us today.
Thank you, Heather.
I'm interested, Jimmy, first of all, in your reaction as you're hearing these news reports yesterday as they're evolving. Another school shooting and the numbers of people killed just keeps rising. What were you experiencing yesterday?
Just horrified shock and disbelief, overwhelming sadness, because I know what these families are going to be dealing with over the next days and weeks and months and years. And it is really asking a lot of these families just to make it, and knowing that without a really supportive community effort to provide comfort, a listening ear, meals, whatever the family might need over these next days and weeks and months. Without that support, I don't know how we would have made it. You mentioned that we did live in Winnipeg for 3 years after moving back, before moving back to Connecticut. We had lived in Connecticut for 4 months when our daughter was murdered. Our community from Winnipeg showed up. Our pastor, many of our friends, many of my son's friends. My son is 2 years older than my daughter who was killed and was in the school building at the time she was killed. They all came to support and to be there for us and for him in our darkest moment. And that's just one example of community showing up. These families in Texas are going to need the community to show up.
I remember talking about Winnipeg, very, very traumatized by what had happened to your family. It was one of the things we talked about then. When something like this is unfolding, does it take you back personally to relive, Jimmy?
Absolutely. In a lot of ways it does. We are 10 years almost from when our daughter was killed. The pain and the grief and the feeling of missing her is still here. The difference 10 years later, I can speak for myself, is that these feelings are more familiar, so that I'm able to deal with them more effectively. And I pray that is true for these families in Texas, that over time, the pain is not going to go away. You don't move on. You don't get over it. But that with support and with care and sustained support and care, not the kind of support that is there for the first couple days or weeks and then goes away, but support that's sustained over years and years. With that kind of support over time, yes, these families can make it.
I want to move to the issue of gun control and the latest push, but I would like to hear from you on one more personal question, because as we've covered things this morning, we've been just showing very, very poignant images of the families waiting. They had to go to the reunification centers, they had to give DNA samples in some cases, and it took long into the night before they found out if their child was among the victims. What has that period of not knowing been like for them, having lived it yourself?
Well, I can't speak for them, but I know for us, the not knowing I would never want anyone to have to go through that. It is a horrible feeling not to know where your child is, if your child is safe, if your child is dead, if your child is hurt, if your child is somewhere needing you. It's a horrible feeling not to know those things. So I can very much empathize with those families.
After the loss of your daughter, you added your voice, as so many of the parents did, to honor her by forming various organizations and pledging to end gun violence. And yet just this year, we were just hearing 27 school shootings this year alone, Jimmy. It clearly has not ended. How does that feel to you 10 years on?
I'm angry. I'm angry that there are some very committed politicians. I can speak of the senators, the U.S. senators from my state of Connecticut, Chris Murphy and Richard Blumenthal, who have been committed to very common sense, gun responsibility legislation. There are so many in Congress that are opposed to it. And unfortunately, most of it, not all, but most of it runs along party lines here in the United States. Yes. I am angry at the cowardice and the inaction of those Congress people who will not stand up and say we must keep our community safe.
You know, we heard similar sentiments from the U.S. president last night as he addressed your nation, and he talked about getting the backbone to deal with the lobbyists and to take on the gun industry. And he denounced the lawmakers that you reference there. But he asked this question, why are we willing to live with this carnage? Can you answer that?
Well, I think, Heather, a little bit has to deal with when incidents like this happen, when there is just an unthinkable level of loss to gun violence, as there was yesterday in Texas, as there was almost 10 years ago for us here in Connecticut. There's a lot of attention and a lot of momentum, but that subsides after a little while for various reasons, and people tend to move on and forget. The families don't have the option of moving on and forgetting, though. Our pain, our journey continues to this day. What we need is sustained attention, and for people not to forget, to remember all these beautiful children who were taken, who were murdered, and to not forget about them, not forget about these situations, because it becomes, in our very rapid news cycle, something else makes news, and it does not become, it's not top of mind anymore. Right. We need sustained attention, and hopefully that sustained attention turns into sustained pressure on those Congress people and senators who need to act now.
But thinking back 10 years, with U.S. President Barack Obama at the time leading the way, the feeling was after 20 children had their lives taken, if not then, when? And still no change. And now 19 more children. And again, that question is in the air. And so you have, for example, Senator Chuck Schumer trying to get background check legislation onto the Senate agenda. That could come in the next day or two. Is there any degree of optimism that at this point, finally, enough is enough?
There's always hope, but Congress needs to act now.
That is a short punctuation that says it all. We'll mention the Anna Grace Project, something you do in your daughter's memory, the Anna Marquez Greene Endowed Scholarship for incoming music students. You're a musician. Wonderful ways to keep your daughter's memory alive. And I thank you so much, Jimmy, for being my guest again. I'm very glad to see you.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Thank you.